Now, summer is salad season, and if you want to have lunch or dinner on the table in a jiffy, then you're in the right place. We're serving you a colorful garden salad platter with egg, salami, chicken, loads of veggies, and bright red strawberries. Yes, this is my kind of meal, ladies and gentlemen. But Dumi, to go with this incredible salad, you have to pair it with an equally delicious side. Are you going to go with a sauce? Are you going to go with a dressing? What are you feeling?
We are going with we're going to call it a dipping sauce, because you can dip it depending on how thick you want it, depending on how smooth you want it, depending on how runny you want it. It is completely up to you. So the thicker you want it, it can be a dip. The more runny you want it, it can be a dressing. So you can actually just drizzle it over there. And to start it off, we've got our Clover classic mayo that we're going to be using. And as you know, the girl likes to keep it medium. Yeah. So we're going with the medium flavor here because we've got the medium tanginess, because we've got the different flavors coming from our pineapples. We've got the strawberries. We've got the fresh lettuce, you know. All of that is so natural in its own flavor that you want it to be able to be, you know, elevated and paired perfectly. So that's why we're adding our Clover classic mayo to there. And like I said, I'm keeping it to number 2, medium. Not too much, not too little, just enough.
Voila, that sounds like genius already. Chef Chart on your station. You've got all the fun.
Well, yeah, I think lots of fun. I mean, the colours, and it's just vibrant, it's just fresh. And, you know, what I think, you know, one's going to look at is just what's in your fridge and start drawing things. You don't have to specifically have this, but start building up things. Look at colour. Look at the flavour combinations that you've got. So, you know, lettuce, always great to have a lettuce that you can sort of layer things in here. And, I mean, that's like a cup, a vessel in itself,
you know? Taco container.
Exactly, that sort of thing there. So that kind of lettuce really works well. You know, cucumber, if you haven't got cucumber, what do you got? Gherkins maybe in the fridge, maybe a bit of pepper juice, you know, so really start, you know, sort of tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes. So you can really chop and change and almost sort of adapt it throughout the year as well. But, you know, one just needs to sort of build it up and sort of build as we go. So take a couple of lovely lettuce leaves. And one thing I always love doing is sort of putting colour on colour that's very similar. I think it's just always rather striking. So you take the vibrant sort of green cos, and then you've got the butter lettuce, bring another whole different sort of textural dimension in here, and keep your leaves big, because you can really sort of, you know, create a vessel, wrap it up and make it a, you know, like a lettuce wrap.
Yeah.
And then from there, take in some lovely cucumber, and again, playing on that green on green on green, I think just looks absolutely fantastic.
Very inviting.
As you go along there. And then, you know, a bit of tomatoes. So we just quartered some lovely rows of tomatoes. I mean, it's summer. It's got lots of vibrant colours on here as well. Pita breads. Oh, yes. What do you want?
I've got a tricky relationship with pita bread.
Why?
You know, growing up, I think pita breads just came into fashion, so a whole lot of households were opting for it instead of the degular sandwich. Now, my household was one of those households, but for some reason, I really struggled with the texture of pita bread. Either it was too doughy, too hard, so I'm finding it difficult. What's the right way to enjoy pita bread?
So pita breads, you just want to warm them up here. So, you know, as time goes on, like now, they're a little bit more on the crispy side, but you got to warm them up onto a pan, hot pan, allow them to puff up in the oven, or if you really want, I mean, they fit perfectly in a toaster. So pop them into your toaster, warm those up there, and literally you can just take those shards and then pop them onto here as well. So it's a lovely little sort of size there. If you want to tear them apart, by all means, you can certainly do so. Eggs, I think, is a great one to do. And, you know, cut them in half if you want. If you don't want to, you know, I actually don't always cut them in half often, because, you know, they might be left over and actually they keep better in the fridge. So nice little tip. So maybe only cut one, but then you get that beautiful contrast of the colour in there. And then let's go with our strawberries. As I said, you know, let's put the strawberries, the red on next to the red.
Now, very interesting that you're also adding fruit to this vegetable platter, I suppose, and also with your own kind of mix of proteins. But now when it comes to the fruit selection, I've seen a lot of salads that have apples, a lot of salads that have pineapples, mangoes. How do you know what fruit to use for what type of salad or what type of side?
Well, I think, you pick up your combination of what are you all putting together. So, you know, so to me, it's talking about, you know, you got a tangy dressing. So you got a light tang. So you got some sharpness coming through from that there. But then you just start working with your lettuce. Your lettuce is quite neutral. Your cucumber, again, quite watery there. But here, your tomatoes. Tomatoes have got a wonderful sweetness. Now, sometimes sweet and sweet works exceptionally well together, enhances another flavor. But then you need a little bit of, acidity to come through, so a little bit of lemon to come through, or, even something like pineapple as well. You could just sort of take that. I'm just going to sort of pop that onto there. So again, you got to build up that profile of what works for you ultimately at the end of the day. So think of sweet, sour, bitter, salty, that umami combination. So think of all the different combinations as you go.
Vanessa, for me, it feels more like nature's cheese board. If you were to explain it like that, that's what it is, where you're getting a whole different kind of flavor that you're putting together. You've, like Chef has said, you've got the pepperiness that will come from your lettuces. You've got your salami that's got that sharp saltiness. You've got the sweetness from the fruit. So all of that in your mouth just gives you a punch of flavor.
Absolutely, and freshness. That is what I love about this right now. I just had a taste of the salad. Now, I was a little apprehensive, not knowing how the fruit combination with the pita bread, with the lettuce, how it all comes together. But trust me, it comes together incredibly. It's also load shedding friendly. So to get your hands on it, please do head over to afternoonexpress.co.za and you can enjoy this recipe at home.
There is a classic mayonnaise that brings out the traditional French in 3 levels of tanginess. The mild classic, the medium classic, the strong classic. Tangy the way you love it.
Made with love by Clover.